Hey everybody, I'm health and performance coach Paul Todd. Talking here today with Carl Bamler on some health and performance tips for your lockdown time.
Paul, thank you for joining us today. So for my patients out there, maybe in a chiropractor, the people are getting real physically fit is one of the things that they like to come in to see me a lot of the time. What are some of the trends with fitness over this time that you're noticing with people, and some of the flaws with that, and little tips and advice you can give to people?
Thanks, Carl. Yeah, it's a really good question. I think I'm probably seeing two ends of the spectrum. I'm seeing some people who perhaps have a bit more time on their hands, and well, everybody's under a bit more stress. So what is really a real promising sign for me is people are turning to exercise as one of the ways to help manage that stress during this time, which I think is a really effective strategy. Now, what I'm seeing is people that have more time on their hands are potentially doing a bit more exercise than what they're usually doing. In some cases a lot more. Whilst I think that's a really positive thing, we just have to be a little bit considerate of perhaps how much exercise you're used to doing regularly, and then how much you're increasing that, or how much of a step up there's been. So, for example, if I'm used to exercising 3 or 4 times a week for say 30 or 40 minutes, and all of a sudden I'm doing something once or twice a day for 7 days a week, and I'm now continuing that into its second week, there is a lot more overload on my body than what I'm potentially used to, and there's not a lot of time for my body to adapt. Now, in some cases, people are probably under a little bit less stress than what they usually are because they're not having to travel to work. Maybe they're getting a bit more sleep. They're having to get up as early in the morning. But at the same time, there's a fair bit of stress in the situation with businesses being challenged and stuff like that. So what I would say to people is if you can use a little system where you just check in with yourself each day, what's my sleep been like? How does my body feel? What's my hydration been like? What's my nutrition been like, and what level of mental and emotional stress am I sort of under at the time? And then you'll start to get an idea of how ready perhaps your body is for exercise. So if you wake up one day and you just don't feel very good in terms of your body feels really sore, perhaps you've had quite a challenging session the day prior, you can still move, but maybe just adapt your intensity a little bit. So maybe you go for something a little bit lighter, and but friendly to the body. The other end of the spectrum I'm seeing is people who aren't doing any exercise because of the amount of pressure and stress they're under. So it tends to be different personalities go different ways and respond differently. And what I'd encourage people who know somebody in that respect is just to encourage them to try and do some more movement. It's important to get outside. It's important to exercise regardless of the amount of stress and pressure under. And perhaps as an even more important tool at this time, it's a great time to try and get outside and do some exercise. So if you know somebody who's in that latter category, who's under a bit of pressure at the moment, and perhaps is shying away from doing exercise, finding themselves working really long hours as a result of pressure, you'd try and encourage that person to get outside, do some exercise, but again, just kind of meet where their body's at. So you wouldn't perhaps go out and try and train too hard or train with too much intensity. You'd encourage that person to do something, get outside, maybe even just go for a walk outside, particularly in the middle part of the day where you're trying to break up the workday a little bit as well. So those are some of the trends I'm seeing. I think overall it's a really positive response. I'm seeing a lot more people out exercising, particularly outside. I know you've mentioned in the past the benefits of getting outside and getting some vitamin D for your immune response as well. So I think it's really positive, but I would like people just to kind of consider if we're here for 4 or 6 weeks even, how much exercise are you doing and how's your body tolerating what you're doing? We want people to stay healthy through this time as well.
Great advice, Paul. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you got some really useful information from that conversation today. If you've got some questions or feedback, I'd love to hear them. Drop me a line, either my email or through our social media. That'd be awesome. Thank you.